And this is your election headquarters, Joy News. And of course, we are your pace setter when it comes to election reporting. And ahead of the 2024 general election, we are getting to understand how the various political parties are putting themselves in readiness to contest the 2024 general elections. And in the studio this afternoon, we had a conversation with Peter McMahon, who is the MPP's member of the campaign teams in charge of electoral affairs, and he told us why Dr. Bawumia should be given a nod to continue with the MPP administration beyond 2024. Now, this afternoon, also in the studio with me is the founder and leader of the All People's Congress, APC, Hassan Ayariga. Mr. Ayariga, you're welcome to Joy News.
Good afternoon.
You're looking very good.
Thank you, Mr.
I wonder what you do to take care of yourself.
I mean, it's a very tough economy, and as you are aware, it's not easy for people to get 3 square meals a day. So those of us who are into business, and probably not all our businesses are in Africa and in other countries, we are able to survive. We are able to survive the situation.
That's very good. So, I mean, before we get down to talk about the APC, you heard the chief executive of the Ghana Cocoa Board and the losses that they made in 2023. There's still the issue of smuggling, even though he claims that we are paying more than La Cote d'Ivoire. What is your reaction to
I think
because cocoa is,
I think it's not being sincere with Ghanaians, because nobody takes cocoa out or smuggle cocoa out to where he'll get less money. I mean, that it's not anybody listening to him. It doesn't seem logical. So for me, I think that we have refused to add value to the cocoa we have here. We are not adding value to it. And because of that, a lot of people smuggle it out. And they smuggle it out because they get better offers out there. So all we need to do, first of all, is to add value to the seedlings, to the seeds we get, to the cocoa we get, and begin to have manufacturing companies that can make cocoa out of, cacao out of it, chocolate out of it, and become one of the best countries with the best chocolate in the world. Not Switzerland. Switzerland doesn't have cocoa farm.
No.
But yes, they have the best chocolate in the world. Germany doesn't have a cocoa farm, but yet they have the best chocolate in the world. And we as a country, we have the best cocoa in the world. Yet, cocoa farmers are the worst farmers on the planet, especially those coming from Ghana. So I think that all government need to do is to have a price guarantee for the cocoa seeds, for the cocoa farmers to know that, look, if I am selling to government, I am better off making more money than if I'm smuggling it outside the country. So this is what we should start looking at it. Because cocoa is like gold. When you add value to it, it gives you a lot of, a financial income.
Right.
And we are not doing that as a nation. So definitely the cocoa farmers will struggle and sell it out to foreigners who then gives them enough money to be able to take care of their students, their school boys, their homes, and their environment. Look at where cocoa farmers live. Terrible. Go around their farms and see how they survive. It's the worst. And yet, cocoa is one of the sources of income for Ghana.
All right, for hundreds of years.
For hundreds of years.
Yes.
And yet they don't benefit.
And the thing about this industry is that the cocoa industry is over $100 billion.
That's
yet
it.
The primary producer, we who go, and then, I mean, our earnings on a yearly basis is not even up to $6 billion.
Yes, because we starve them, we suppress them, and we want to buy it at a very cheap rate from them. There should be a price control system and guarantees for cocoa farmers, so that they'll be proud of being cocoa farmers. Look at the number of years it takes to grow a cocoa tree, 10 to 15 years. And then the number of years they will sit and wait to make these trees to become fruitful. And then the process of it is the most difficult, drying in the sun, squeezing it, extracting it. I mean, we are in the 21st century. What's wrong with Ghanaians?
And now you're having to deal with illegal mining and also the smuggling of the beans to countries like even Togo and Burkina Faso.
Can you imagine? We smuggling to Togo? Not even the Ghana.
Yeah.
Sad.
All right, but
sad.
I mean,
that's why some of us are running for president.
Yeah, of course, we'll come to that. But this is just by the way. Before again, few issues that I want to clear with you before we talk about your timetable ahead of 2024. The Electoral Commission made it clear yesterday that they will hold the elections in December instead of the proposed November. You, as one of the political parties that is represented at IPAC, kicked against this move when it was first brought to your attention. Now, the EC says that December will be the date. But going forward into 2028, they may seek constitutional amendment to bring it to November.
I don't think we need that. What we need is a different constitutional amendment to cancel second round. Because their purpose of asking for the election to be shifted to 7th November was not because of anything. It was
to give them time.
To give them time in case there's a runoff. But for me, I think we should go different step ahead and look at the issue of not necessarily having a runoff in our elections, but finding a way where we go for first round. Two parties that emerges with the highest vote, they now find a way of having an inclusive governance or government by taking from the other political parties who do not have 50+1 to join and form the 50+1 to form a government.
So some kind of a coalition.
A coalition government, an inclusive government. So we say, okay, APC had 30%, MPP has, let's say, 20%, NDC has 30%, the rest of the political parties have 20%. So you now take the first two that has 30 and 30. They will now look for the other political parties to bring them together and form a coalition government. And that will make every political party strong, important, necessary, and every vote will be very, very important. The issue of saying that smaller parties, it will take away the issue of smaller parties being small, because without them, you can form a government. And then it will do away with corruption. And the winner takes it all kind of political syndrome. And we'll now have an inclusive government where Ghana will now be on a different platform where when political parties cannot rule anymore, we have...
You need the support of others, like it happens in Germany, in Israel, in other countries
that
in
will
Europe.
Give us rather than telling us that you need to shift it from December to November because of a runoff. Let's look at our constitution very well. There are certain things that we can sit together and judge and build our constitution and make reforms that will help going forward. It's not about one political party that win election. It's about the country. What are we doing to change? When they were drafting the constitution, I'm not sure they thought of something like this. Today, we are in power. We are on board. We are the leaders. So we should be able to draft a constitution for the future leaders to be able to follow up. That's part of leadership.
Well, I mean, I think this proposal will require an amendment to the 1992
We always do a lot of amendments. I mean, see, the president has executive power that he can propose it to parliament. We, the political leaders, can write. I even tried last year, I invited the minority parties for us to debate on this and also to write a letter to the president. But most of them didn't even understand it. So
and it's something you are bent on pursuing.
Exactly. If I'm president next year, I will do that. I will cancel second round. Because first of all, it's a waste of our time. Secondly, it's a waste of our resources. Third, it amounts to winner takes it all. Fourth, it amounts to corruption. But this gives us a beautiful kind of democracy where every vote is important.
So therefore, your proposal is that, for example, if the APC should garner like 30%, and then the other smaller political, you will not do business with the party that comes second, but the smaller ones to form.
So you form a coalition government. So APC has 30%. Let's say CPP has 10. PPP, let's say, has 10. And then let's say any other party has 2. So we need their support and this other support to form a coalition. In that case, the day you, as a party, mess up and the other people decide to withdraw their support,
that'll be the end of you.
You go back to opposition. So definitely we'll now look at each other's policy and find a way of forming a unity government that will give Ghana the best leaders to build.
And has our democracy grown to such a level where this proposal can be accepted?
our democracy is even not grown because we don't even think about certain things. We're only thinking about winning power and being corrupt and mismanaging our economy. If you look at the terrain of our democracy today, you will understand that the leaders do not even want to let the democracy grow. They are thinking about themselves. So even when there are proposals that we should do for the nation to benefit rather than they benefiting, they will ignore that and decline it. And that is why you see that even today, the president has too much powers, yet the president is not willing to reduce his powers. And when I become president, as President Hassan Ayariga, I am going to reduce the powers of the president by making a constitutional amendment. Because I think that we have given too much power to one person. And if we want to have an economy where there are checks and balances, nobody should have so much power like the president.
And what are some of the powers that you intend to take away from the president?
Exactly. Like the president appointing the EC commissioner, it's not right. The president, the vice president being the, what do you call it? The chairman of the police council is not right. The president appointing, what do you call it? The special prosecutor. These are things that lead to your benefit.
So who should, if the powers should be taken away from the president?
Yes.
For example, the appointment of the EC chair.
Exactly. So now, if the appointment of the EC chair is not coming from the office of the president himself can't have too much control over the EC anymore. If the special prosecutor office is not coming, it's not being appointed by the president do not have the powers to tell him, look, these are the cases I want you to investigate and prosecute. He, the president, when he goes wrong, they will come after him.
But even though the president has the appointing authority, those individuals have independence to operate.
That is why I'm telling you that our democracy is not grown. Our democracy is not grown to the extent that those individuals have their own mindset to make certain decisions. Why do you think Martin Hamidu left the office of the special prosecutor? He's my uncle. And I spoke intensively with him why he left.
Why?
And these are the reasons.
Why did he leave?
Because there was too much pressure coming from the office of the president, directing him to do ABC. And you know, my uncle Martin Hamidu will not stoop low and do that. So we need to begin to understand that this democracy is not just for the current government, the current crop of people who live now, but it should be able to transcend and take us to very different steps ahead in the future. So that once we are in our graves or we are old sitting down, we are able to tell, yes, we made decisions that Ghana today is a better place for everyone.
So apart from coalition governments, limiting the powers of the president, what are some of the other reforms that you want to bring onto our body politics?
Like appointment of the DCs and MCs. These are not the powers of the president to do.
The president had a plan to change that.
Yeah, the people should be able to appoint and vote their own DCs and DCs.
So that they will be responsible for the development of
their communities. And also, they will know those who are the right people for them. Now, president is imposing so much on people, and he has too much powers. Too much.
It is the constitutional.
That is why I'm saying that he would not like to reduce his powers because he's enjoying the privilege.
But under this administration, there was, the president tried to have DCEs elected. Eventually, it came down to whether it should be partisan or non-partisan, and the motion was lost, if you like.
He is the president in power and he has the majority. How can he lose that motion? It's not possible. Tell me, how is that possible?
I mean, the NDC, for example, was against them contesting on political party lines.
When you bring the NDC and the MPP matter here, I will tell you that these two political parties always pretend to be saving Ghana. But at the end of the day, they are doing what benefits them. So NDC will be fighting the MPP not to put up a policy that when they come to government, they will suffer, they will not benefit from it, vice versa. So that is what I'm saying. Our constitution needs to be changed and amended, and not by politicians, by all stakeholders of this country, academia, the media, the stakeholders, the politicians, the lawyers, everybody. We need to recraft our constitution and amend certain sections of it to be able to work with it freely without too much powers given to one person or an institution. It is important for us to know this, because going forward, There's a lot of. Why do you think there's so much corruption and mismanagement, wastage, and a whole lot of things, and we are unable to?
You blame it on when the winner takes all.
Exactly, because when you win power, what it means is that you're not appointing good leaders who are responsible. You are reshuffling your incompetent leaders, and you call it, what do you call it? What do you call it? Leadership changes.
Right.
But the point here is that we have better leaders in all the political stakeholders. We have better leaders in the academia. We have good leaders in the many institutions in this country. But because you do not hold a political party card of the party in power, you are seen as a threat to that party. You are also seen as a saboteur to that party. You are seen as somebody, if they appoint you, the party members will say, why do we appoint him? After all, he didn't campaign for us. He was campaigning against us. But the point is that it's not about those who win power today. It's about what you're doing with the country tomorrow.
Right.
Are you with me? So as president, I will not be appointing leaders only from the APC. I will be appointing competent leaders from Ghana. And the reason why I will appoint you is not because you're an APC member or you're not. It's because you are qualified to help me build the country that I want to. You're qualified to take the position that I'm looking for the best person. So you are the best man for that position. So I will not look for my APC member to come and occupy that position, but I'll come around and look for the best person to help me build my country. Because when I build a better country, everybody gets to benefit.
Right.
It doesn't matter whether you are APC, CPP, NDC, or MPP. What matters is that where are we sending our country to? How did we get there? How are we going to get there? Many nations in the world are performing better. Ghana has all that we need to have the best country in the world, but all that we are lacking is leadership. Lack of leadership. Even the Bible tells us that lack of leadership, my people perish. And definitely that's where we find ourselves. We have gold, diamond, bauxite, lithium, cocoa, oil, timber. The sea is a resource. Yet we are so poor to the extent that our city, our children cannot get 3 square meals a day. Even 2 is a problem. We are so ignorant and poor to the extent that all these resources that we have been taken by foreigners, and we call it PPP. We have given it out, and we are calling it leadership, investment. We have actually given out everything, and we are becoming 21st century slaves. And that is what Nkrumah termed by neo-colonialism. This time around, we are not being forced into slavery. We are presenting our country and our resources and everything, and we are becoming a 21st century slaves in our own country. Go around and look at all the big businesses in Ghana, big institutions, and tell me how many Ghanaians
are managing those or
owns them. And you will see that Ghana is in the hands of foreigners. We are lost as a nation. That's the word. We are lost as a nation.
But Mr. Ayariga, despite the gloom you paint for me, since 1992, it's been MPP, NDC, MPP, NDC. Despite all these nice ideas that you have, in previous elections, they've always gone out to vote for either the MPP or it is the case that your party, for example, or you yourself, for example, you've not done enough to convince the electorates that you offer alternative that is worth trying.
You see, sincerely, Ghanaians always say that they are looking for a third force. What is a third force? Who provides a third force? Who decides who becomes a third force? It's not Hassan Ayariga as a candidate. It is you as the voter. This is a platform you've given me. A lot of Ghanaians are listening to my ideas and our policy and our conversation. They believe that what Hassan Ayariga is saying is the best thing to go. But they will tell you that we want Hassan Ayariga and other smaller parties to come together before we vote them.
But why is it so difficult for
I'm getting to where, whether it's difficult or it's not. They are telling us that form a coalition and we'll vote you. But let's be serious here. Are we looking for a platform to vote, or are we looking for the best leader to vote? If we are looking for platforms to vote, then we can form a coalition. But if we're saying that we want a leader that can transform our country, it doesn't matter whether that leader is in a smaller political party or is an independent candidate. We have seen in various instances where countries within Africa have voted independent candidates and they've done well.
Even France,
from a very small minority president. And became president. So Ghanaians are always giving us excuses, and I don't want to buy that excuse. I think that they themselves are not ready for a third force. If they are ready for a third force, I don't think we should be sitting down and asking why NDC. They are getting fed up, and in that system or in that situation, they're becoming fed up and there's voter apathy. They sit backward and say they won't vote. They will say, oh, after this year, I'm not voting. Why are you not voting? You are not voting. You not voting is going to make the incompetent become president. So all you need to do is to come out and say, look, I am not going to vote NDC, either non-MPP. I want to see the best leader. Among the leaders, who do I believe in? I believe in Hassan Ayariga. I'm going to vote for Hassan Ayariga. You vote for Hassan Ayariga. I am not looking for a platform to build Ghana. I am not looking at the APC platform to build Ghana. I told you initially.
Right.
I am looking for Ghanaians that are competent and dedicated to build Ghana. So why do you want me to have a bigger platform before you vote me? So that means that you want me to be like the NDC and the MPP.
Before you are giving
I don't want that.
But again, if that is the mindset, then clearly it begs the question whether what people like you are doing is a waste of time and resources.
It is not a waste of time. The time will come, 2024, probably 2028, where many Ghanaians will change their mindset and attitude. Because already they are tired of the NDC and the MPP. And they are yearning for a third force. All I'm telling them is that do not sit somewhere and expect that the third force must have a certain particular numbers or platform before you vote. Make that decision that I am looking for the best leader to lead my country. And in the circumstance, in the state we find ourselves, I don't think John Mahama of the NDC is the best leader. I don't think Baumia of the MPP is the best leader. And I think Hassan Ayariga is my best option. Hassan Ayariga is the last hope for Ghana. Not because I'm sitting here, but because I know myself very well. I am the people's choice. But the people keep telling me, Ayariga, we love you, we love you, we love you, but we want you to come together. And I tell them, I don't have to join with people for you to vote for me. Vote for me and I'll bring the people together.
So, but before you get there, what is the plan internally? Because the NDC, the MPP, they've all had their internal elections, waiting for the EC to roll out the timetable. We've not heard much from the APC.
Oh, no, you have. It's just that you have refused to say you've heard much of it. Because the APC all over the news, you know that we are going to our Congress on the 8th of March in Ashanti region, Kumasi. It's all over the news. Then we will have the biggest float and carnival on the 9th of March.
In
Kumasi. Because this is the platform we're giving everybody to join. We are asking that people should become volunteers of the APC, sympathizers of the APC, and begin to form their parties, the branches in every community. The reason why I'm saying this is because I initially said it's an inclusive governance that we are looking at. And because our motto is all inclusive, we are saying that be the leader in your community as an APC member. And when we win power, you are able to become the best person to help build your community.
Right.
Look, no matter how intelligent I am, how good I am, how resourceful I am, I won't be able to just enter your studio and tell you your problems. But you, sitting here, you are able to tell me, Ayariga, our problem in this studio is A, B, C. If we do B, C, they will solve it. This is the kind of leadership I'm looking for. People to come out from their own community and let's build the country we want, let's build the nation we want by giving them the opportunity. So the Congress is to give, the rally and the carnival is to bring all these sympathizers across Ghana
together.
And let's walk and progressively, let's come together and build the wagon aid.
The Congress, what is it about? Is it to elect national officers or presidential candidates?
It's all. National executives and
the presidential candidates.
Yeah. But funny, likely enough, we have only one candidate that is contesting for the president.
And that is you.
And that's me. So mine will be an acclamation because the party believes and thinks that the best candidate for Ghana now not just for the APC, is Hassan Ayariga.
And then but your national officers, the
yes, all of them, they'll be those of them who, yes, the party will make that decision, whether they want to acclaim some of them or want to elect some of them. That's not my decision. That's the decision of the party, right? Because we have new young people who have also joined the party and want to hold certain positions.
But you are going unopposed?
I'm going unopposed.
Okay.
But I will still pick my form on Thursday and file next week. It doesn't change me picking a form because we have a constitutional laws that we have to follow. Whether I'm going unopposed or not, I still have to pick a form.
Is it because you funded the party?
Not at all.
That's why people are reluctant
No. It's because listening to me and being around me and knowing my leadership style, I mean, you think that Ghana is wasting our time not making Hassan Ayariga the president. But I don't see so far among the leaders that are contesting in 2024, undoubtedly, I don't see somebody who can compete with me in terms of anything.
So you are confident of winning?
I've grown from 2012 till now in a very effective manner in politics. That I see, but I see the MPP candidate as empty. I see John Mahama too now as empty. Those days I used to see them as people who have the best brains.
Why do you say they are empty? I mean, they've put forth programs and plans they hope to implement to change the fortunes of the country. We've heard of 24-hour economy. We've heard of we've heard of the vice president, for example, deepening what has been achieved and
talking about digitalization.
Exactly, and other things that
now let me tell you, if the former president is talking about a 24-hour economy in 2024, I spoke about it in 2016 and 2020. If Dr. Bamudi Bamia is talking about digitalization, I spoke about e-governance in 2020 and 2016. So I see them picking up some of my manifestos that I abandoned in 2016 and spoke about some of them in 2020, that they are now seeing it as policy. And I laugh. I don't understand. In my manifesto, a 24-hour economy is not my number one policy. It's my number 30 policy.
Number 30?
Number 30.
Which one is number one?
Number one is a national data system, which nobody's thinking about it.
Is there a National Identification Authority?
That is a card. That's not as data.
But they also take the...
No. That is just a card. Sorry, but that's a card. That doesn't give us the system and the data we are looking for.
What kind of data are we
talking about? A national data system is a different data system that is designed to police our country and know the check and balances of every Ghanaian. It entails even your blood sample, your blood group. If, for instance, I want to know those who are blood group B, I'll key in the system and say blood group B Ghanaians, and I'll see the list of Ghanaians who are blood group B. If I want to know your salary, all I need to know about you, with the data system, I pick any details of yours, either your telephone number, your house number, your car number, anything I key in, everything about Elton John will drop. And the number of Elton Johns we have in this country. So the data system allows us to capture every biometric data of you, your salary, the number of children you have, the number of wives, sorry, I don't want to say wife, but the number of wives you have, their information, their details, the job you do, your blood group, your facial recognition, your telephone number, your number of cars. So even that gives me the best opportunity to plan. And the next is national data plan. So it goes on. Then up to the 30th one, which is
a 24-hour
economy. So I don't start from 24-hour economy and start shouting where people will say. And the e-commerce comes too. So if Vice President Mahmoud Bawumia is shouting, digitalization. I wonder what he's thinking about. Because digitalization is not a policy. It's a process of moving from analog to a digital system where everybody's doing it. It's not a policy.
But
you have moved.
If
You have moved.
It's taking time for the country to get to this.
No. It is not a process of taking time. It is something that is already in the existence. We talk about e-commerce, e-governance. That is better. Digitalization. Look, those days you have to have cameras where people have to stand and behind the camera and hold it and be struggling their hands to go up. This is digitalization. You have a digital system now there. So when you sit down and say, because of digitalization, Kayoyo people will do it, I find it empty, practically empty. Somebody who doesn't have anything to say and is shouting digitalization. No president in this world will be talking about digitalization at this time. This is something we have gone past it years back.
But this is Ghana. We need
this. Because we don't have the right leaders who have the right minds, who have the best vision. You agree with me that digitalization is now a policy. The vice president comes and says, look, I was the maid. I don't understand whether he was really a maid or a driver. I was the maid. And I am going to scrap taxes on betting, taxes on the omissions and levies and all that. And that is a policy. And you, the media, you agreed with him that it's a policy. How can somebody impose taxes on you, scrap it off, and you agree it's a policy? What makes it a policy? Scrapping off taxes doesn't make it a policy. Removing taxes on betting is an encouragement of our kids to adapt a bad attitudinal change by becoming gamblers.
Right. So, I mean,
not to say that,
of course, because of time. I mean, I'm enjoying your points very much. But I mean, we are wrapping up on this. Hopefully, in days to come, we'll have more to talk about. But what do you expect of the Electoral Commission? What do you expect of the security agencies as we move towards 2024?
I think that we need to be very careful in this 2024 year election, because this 2024 year election has something no Ghanaian is looking at. And I want to make it clear on your studio. We have 3 Northerners that are going to be contesting the frontline election. John Mahama, my senior brother, Baumia, my elder brother, and lastly myself. It is a Northern kind of campaign. And over the years,
there's also Alan Chemanten, who is from the south anyway.
Yes, he's not on the front row. He's yet to be a candidate. Those are people.
Nobody's a candidate yet.
Those are people who call themselves groups. They are not political parties. I'm talking about the major political parties that are going to contest. Alan will come. Definitely, there are going to be a lot of independent candidates. You know why? Because the presidency has been reduced to nothing. So people are coming out to say, if this is what we call president of Ghana and how they manage this country, then everybody, not every Tom, Dick, and Harry, everybody can be president. Are you getting what I'm saying? But the point here I'm trying to explain to you, these 3 Northerners have certain group of excluding Hassan Ayariga. The NDC and the MPP have certain groups of political vigilante groups that are bent. One, this one says we are going to break the 8, and this other group says we are going to take over. So these vigilante groups, if we do not come out clearly to disband them,
which has been outlawed by by law passed by Parliament,
we are going to have a very serious chaotic election. And that is what I'm praying hard, that my brothers, my senior brothers all look into it, so that we begin to look for a political, are we going to do a campaign of ideas, or are we going to do a violent campaign? This is what I want to see. This is what I want the media to concentrate. Because people perceive people from the north are violent, and now 3 Northerners are going to go for the contest. Are we going to have a violent kind of political terrain? Or are we going to say, Peace Council, engage these 3 political leaders, let them sit and sign a peace accord that we will not countenance, entertain any party that will come out violently. We will not accept it. And any party that comes, we will make sure it never happens, because Ghana is the only country we have. And we must begin to look at these things.
I like that point.
Okay? So we have to make steps. Serious steps. Let us not overlook the 2024 election. It's a very serious thing. We will talk about it later.
Thank you very much. So hopefully on March 8th,
you carry it live.
Yes, the Congress in Kumasi to be followed by a float,
carnival,
and then also are you encouraging people to contest the parliamentary election on the ticket of APC?
We intend to win 25 seats, but we're asking many people. We have been able to identify the 25 seats that we can win.
Okay.
That is 100% sure, unless something otherwise. But the 25 seats is a secured seat for the APC. Sure. 6 are coming from my community where I come from: Binduri, Garo, Timpan, Puzuga, Zebila, and Bogu Central. My people are going to give me 100%, because this is where they also have to say, nobody send his son away and take care of another person's son. I am the son of that 6th constituency. And definitely, if we are going into a race, my fathers and uncle will not throw me away and pick somebody's son.
Right.
It's not a tribal politics, but it's a saying, you train your child to be better than you. And they are training me to be better than them.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hassan Ayariga,
for
coming through. It's a pleasure always having you on set. So, folks, that's our show this beautiful Tuesday evening. For more stories, log on to our website, myjoyonline.com. Stories on myjoyonline.com. I'm Swale. Police yet to submit any docket fit for purpose. That's according to the Attorney General. You want to click and read more on that. No one outside Parliament can change majority leadership. That's first of all, I'll say. My name is Elton Brobe. You have a good evening. Hope to see you tomorrow for the midweek edition of The Pulse.